Good evening. It's time for some low-tier delusion, and I ain't gonna apologize for the intrusion. Now, let's go ahead and have some fun. It's time to provide y'all with some great value.
Let me just get Dr. Pepper. I know y'all got that.
Is Dr. Thunder fine?
It's Dr. Thunder.
People are rated based on their credit worthiness, right? So they have this tier system, a caste system, basically, that puts people really high up or really low.
Oh, bro, imagine you're a 599. Bro, it's crazy. If you jaywalk, you get docked points. So it basically forces you into a militant style way of living.
Something like that, but it definitely ain't something to be praised.
Basically, it also teaches you how to be respectful when I say militant style living. So it forces you to act a certain way.
Let's go ahead and see where he's going with this, because I'm gonna tell you something right now. He sounded like he kind of trying to co-sign it, but bro, you the last one who want a system like that. But I'm gonna let him go on ahead and finish. I'm not gonna keep cutting him off.
I feel like we need that in America.
Yeah, we already do have that in America. Now, what they're doing is a huge overreach, in my opinion. Now, what we do over here is something called a credit report. You got rental credit, you got vehicle credit, you got credit based on what you do, credit card worthiness, loan worthiness and all of that. And that's the only thing that system should apply to. How credible you are when it comes to financial situations. That's why they even got them all separated. Now, they can affect you if it's one of them things where they're all reviewed together, but that's as far as it should go, because you being financially responsible for something is very important, and you should be held accountable if you're not handling what you're supposed to be handling. But as far as personal behaviors and all of that, nah, that's doing too much, especially for petty things.
No wonder Asian people have the best manners and...
False. That shows you don't go outside. You only know of the stereotypes. I've seen plenty of rude ass Asians. Let's not get it twisted. I've seen Asians speed. I've seen Asians drink and drive. I've seen Asians be addicts. I've seen them see you at a crosswalk and will literally borderline to hit you if you try to cross the street. I've seen them get in your way and not move over and be rude and crowd your space, not be courteous. Yeah. I don't know where you're getting your examples from, but in the real world, most people ain't that different. People's characters gonna be people's characters, and you don't live there. So let's be very clear. You don't live there, you don't know them, but just on the aspect of here dealing with that ethnic group, don't get it twisted. They ain't all happy-go-lucky, kind, and respectful individuals. Don't get it twisted. Like, no group of people just mandatory has home training. The home training is based on the parents and how they raise their children. That's it. But you don't know nothing about, but we're gonna leave that alone. We ain't gonna talk about that today. But all that's solely based on the parents, the community they're in, all of that. And it ain't limited to their ethnic group and what they specifically do, because there's plenty of places that are that strict, and you have some of the most corrupt people. So let's just go ahead and drop that off, and don't ever, and I'm saying this because don't ever get in your mind that a certain ethnic group of people is better than somebody else, or that they're different, because they're not. They have jackasses just like every race of people. They have good people like every race of people. They ain't that different, because if they were, there would be no such thing as corruption in their culture, and there's hella corruption in their culture. So we can't sit here and say that, oh, they're just all these well-mannered, know nothing. Cut it out. Stop. And then, as a side note, you think this system isn't manipulated? Let's talk about it. You think this system isn't manipulated? This ultimate control system is completely fair and not used unfavorably like the credit scores in America? Boy, stop. See, we about to get into a whole nother we ain't even gonna do that right now. That ain't even what we here for. Let me let him continue.
And everything, and they're so organized. It makes sense now. Takes away your freedom. Well, a lot of people need their freedom taken away, because what are they doing with it? So
because you mad that people roasting and clowning you and trolling you, you think people deserve to have their freedom taken away? Okay, let him continue. I know you probably like, you ain't even say that. We already know what he's insinuating. We already know he that predictable, but let's go ahead. I'm gonna let him go ahead.
I'm thinking about this wrong. No, I'm thinking about how many people in America just are serving themselves no purpose. They're not doing anything with themselves. They're wasting their life clock on stupid shit.
Word? You don't say.
Just are serving themselves no purpose. They're not doing anything with themselves. They're wasting their life clock on stupid shit. Just are serving themselves no purpose. They're not doing anything with themselves. They're wasting their life clock on stupid shit. A social credit system would stop people from doing dumb.
No, it'll just make them get better at it and not get caught doing it. And that's what I mean by when you speak and you don't think about what you say before you say it. Now, I'm not giving you leeway here, because when people are live, I do give some type of grace. I do clown, but I do give grace for being live, because you are doing it live. There's no running back. There's no do-over. But you said that very clear what you meant. So to correct you here, when people do wrong, they are jailed, sometimes much longer than others. And I just watched a special that was like a Scared Straight special talking about prison food. Now I'm gonna tell you, if jail itself don't scare you straight, just the fact that I'm talking about the food they get fed, I was like, dang, they got like up to $2 a day just for their food. $2. It be having maggots on it sometimes. It's old and all kinds of crazy mess. To the point to where they'll just miss a meal and don't eat and be hungry most of the time, and then it's slop, mystery meat, and then you don't even like they eating a certain sandwich that's supposed to be bologna, but then it smell like fish. Like, nah, bruh. Like, and people still go out here and do some of the things they do when they don't even have to. We ain't talking about people in dire straits. We're talking about people who are not even in a bad position and choose to do something stupid and get in trouble, and they know they're gonna get in trouble. They know they're going to be held accountable. When does that ever stop people from doing what they're going to do? Like, I just want to get that across.
No, the caste system, bro, is ass. I learned about the caste system, I think. When did I first learn about that?
Yeah. So, broken clock, right twice a day. He is right. The caste system is sorry. What you was born into is what you gonna be doing. It was an extremely discriminatory practice. And man, I'm gonna just say, sometimes when it comes to history, people should really catch up with it just to be informed about it and just watch it and really gain some knowledge on how things used to work, and you can really appreciate where you are today. I don't want to say it like that, but sometimes when you see misfortune, it can really bring you to appreciation, to understand your position and where you are. And I'm not saying that just means that automatically you should just be grateful for any situation you have, but just be grateful you're not in that one. I just want to be very clear. That was rough. I've seen a lot of history stuff. I do like to catch up on it just to see what happened and be knowledgeable about what took place. And man, but I'm gonna go ahead and let him continue.
Isn't the caste system is basically like, if you're born into being a bum or a toilet cleaner, you can't ever make it out. Social credit is the caste system? No, because it's based off your choices. You're still not you're not losing free will by a social credit system. How are you losing free will from the social credit system? It's still based off of the choices you make on if your score lowers or higher.
That's false. Have you heard about those meetings that some of them places have where it's mandatory you go out drinking with your bosses over there? They could. What if there's situations to where they're keeping you up all night and then your performance slipped and then you get docked? That's what I'm saying. Like, these systems can be manipulated, so don't get it twisted. That ain't how they don't work as good as you think they do. Like, you don't know the true ins and outs of this system. What if your boss was like, you gonna work this unpaid overtime, and then they decide to dock you saying you're unreliable because you're on salary? What happens when they say, oh, you gonna have to miss your kid's birthday, or you need to work on weekends, and you're like, oh, but I can't, I'm sick, or whatever it is, and you get docked for that? That's what I'm saying. That's very dangerous to give people that much power over you and what you can do, and hurt you on a universal scale like that, just off of their discretionary, what they decide they put on you, on their own discretion. No, heck no.
At the end of the fucking day, it doesn't sound like control. It sounds like still a choice-based system. But if you make these stupid choices, you're going to be punished for it. The problem is American people are still untamed. There's no organized structure to certain communities. You notice how, let's just say this, you notice how when you go to San Gabriel, right, which is a huge Asian community, huge Chinese community, why do you think it's like that? Why do you think a foreign community in America is ran better than Crenshaw?
Look, I'll get into this conversation, but I feel like this conversation's been had so many times. There's no need. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like being all preachy. You know, I don't want to be that preachy guy. But there's a very logical reason as to why it is the way that it is. And I mean, it's been said 1,000 times and people want to be in denial about it, and that ain't no big deal. But there's a reason why it is the way it is. There is some level of accountability, but people have to understand this too. Like, again, if you do wrong, you got to be held accountable. But how you gonna just magically wake up one day, born into a war zone, or born into a land of hopelessness and just an environment of hopelessness, and you just supposed to get up and make society? You just supposed to get up and just, oh yeah, let's build it. You ain't got no family unit. You more times than not, you don't know who your dad is. You don't know where your next meal gonna come from. Everybody out here gang banging. All you see is violence. You got shooting drills and like, come on, bro. Like, what do you expect? What do you expect? And then, of course, obviously, this is what's silly is obviously a foreigner who came over, because if they came over here the right way, got the papers and everything, obviously they were business minded to do everything the business way. So yes, they're going to come over here and be successful. But if you go back over there to their land, everybody don't move like them. That's like saying a passport bro going to Thailand or anywhere else is the upper, that he's a representation of all American men. Like, that is not how that works. Like, that passport bro is not a depiction of 90% of the men in America. You get what I'm saying? He's a depiction of him or people who are like him in that category. And that's what your comparison is. You're comparing the quote unquote, and I'm saying upper echelon because they're coming over here with businesses and doing all of that. They didn't just come over to America like, yeah, and then all of a sudden I just learned business. No, they were already in that life. They just came over here and they saw an opening in a niche to be able to be more successful because of the competition of where they were from. And they saw an opening and they were able to utilize it for their success. And they got the connects back home to get the benefits and the discounts that you can't get in America. That's where it differs. So again, if you want to know more about it, feel free to go do the research and look all into it, because it's good to be informed. It's good to have knowledge. It's good to learn. And there's plenty of animated YouTube channels who can teach you these things and not be so just, hard, aggressive, all in your mouth, all in your ear, pause. But you know what I'm saying. But let's go ahead and let them continue.
Slauson just teaches you to be organized humans. We're not talking this isn't the caste system though. It's a choice-based system.
So now it's changing to that if you are not a good model citizen, your kids don't get to go to good schools, which is
bro, I like this.
Yeah, because they would definitely keep you out of the good schools.
I like this because it forces people to also be model parents. We get a lot of people out here that just have kids. Yeah, I'm gonna still play it after this. We got a lot of people out here that just have kids. So it forces you to be a great parent.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, that's wild. That's wild. All right, man, whatever. I'm not even gonna say nothing. Let's not continue.
On top of that, yeah, hierarchy-based system. You guys know I'm all about a hierarchy-based system, aka your gyms. It's not just I just put gyms on the I put gyms as your sub counts for a reason. It forces people to be solid all through. I'm just saying, I feel like your parents should always set the example, and I like the way the Chinese culture is instilling that. I like that.
They instill a whole lot more than that. Boy, if you only knew.
did wrong, blah, blah, blah. But it will go to other government officials. So they said it will go to a limited audience. When you drop to the lowest tier, and this is D, this is called not creditworthy. Basically, It's like, if you talk about Indian caste system, it's the untouchables.
National blacklist. There's a lot of people that deserve to be on a national blacklist.
Cool being weird.
They can revoke all of your titles. So if you had a PhD or scientific discoveries, you'll have that erased, right? You can't get a loan, and you can actually lose your job over this. So if it's tied to what happened.
I love this. I love this shit. It forces you. See, the people that saying no, what are you scared of if you're doing what you're supposed to do?
Hey, y'all, who gonna tell him? Who gonna tell him? Because he really believes that he would be all right in this system. And you could be like, well, he didn't say that. He's insinuating it. Look at him. Just the arrogance. Man, I love that system. Oh, really? You love that system? Dude, you would lose everything. You would lose. Look, he's talking about this system. You got banned and blocked off of things in America. Like, I want to make this very clear. You got banned on systems in quote unquote lax America. How do you get banned over here and think you would even slightly stand a chance in that system that's far more strict? How? Like, how? Who gonna tell him? Y'all gonna tell him? Who gonna tell him?
If you went out there and did something bad on purpose, you just straight go down to D. But let me make one thing super clear. If you are a political dissident,
I love this.
Or you speak out against the government, you're screwed either way. The Communist Party of China will just lock you up or disappear you, okay? This is not a country with a rule of law. This is more of a system to coerce and influence future behavior and to standardize it for greater and ultimate control over the population.
And what did I just say? Huh? What did I just say? Because anybody you gonna talk to gonna tell you that is perfect. It is excellent. I love it. Because if you don't, well, we all know what that comes with. So yeah, that's the great system to live under. Because nobody has any complaints about it. No one at all. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has any complaints. But hey, you could go live on that system right now. I'm saying you ain't even gotta, dude. You like that system so much, feel free to go over there to China, and it is right there for you. Go have at it, homie. Have at it. It's all you.
We need this in America.
No, you need to get your butt up and go over there. Going over there, it already exists. It's already established. That defeats the purpose of it being another country. You know, it's perfectly set up right there. Go on over there, get your credit score thing up, log in, and go ahead. Do your thing.
Or we need some form of it.
We have both. It's called a criminal record and a credit score.
So many people walking American streets with, for what? Jay Dizzle, have I not always like that? Have I not always been about this type of shit? Why are you acting like this is brand new? Why do you think I call it a hierarchy-based system and all of that? Like, what do you, like, you don't know what I've been doing the whole time? It's not about it being communism. It's about constructing it's about constructing solid communities to start.
Right. Not communism. Just, ruling with an iron fist when anybody steps out of line and out of pocket, and just being sure that everybody falls in line the way that you have aligned as the government over the people. Yeah, man. No, that's totally not communism. No, not at all. So stupid. But oh man, just when you think he can't say something more dumb, he just always surprises you. But if you kicked it with your boy this long, I appreciate you hanging with me. Links in the description below like always. And in the meanwhile, I'm out. Have a good one.
And then you construct a solid nation. I feel like America can benefit from something of this particular system. Maybe not implemented the same exact way, but I feel like we can definitely borrow something out of it.